Okay, welcome everyone. So this is the first session of Spice Route South Asia. We have gathered here to celebrate the occasion of International Youth Day. International Youth Day has been started by the United Nations to recognize the efforts of youth as well as encourage them in taking forward the economies of the world ahead in various ways. So today we all have gathered here as Spice Route South Asia to host this webinar and to discuss various aspects on how the youth can be involved in various aspects to take things ahead. First, I want to invite the National Secretary, the National Chair of India, that is Dr. Serin, to please welcome the gathering.
Hello, good evening all. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, clearly. Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening all. Today we are celebrating World Youth Day. And this year's theme for World Youth Day is Youth Engagement for Global Action. On this occasion, WONCA Young Doctors Movement is conducting a webinar and YDM of South Asia region, that is Spicewood Movement, is hosting this event. Today, we have a very interesting panel discussion and a newsletter launch of Spicewood India Movement. We are extremely happy to host this webinar for you all. On behalf of Spicewood India Movement and Spicewood South Asia region, I welcome the eminent national leads of Spicewood Movement, Dr. Sangha, Dr. Zainab, Dr. Kinley, Dr. Zakir, Dr. Dure, and all young doctors movement leaders, WONCA leaders, and Dr. Sunil Abraham, who has agreed to launch our newsletter, and all senior FPA members, National Council members of Spicewood, Regional Council members of Spicewood, all young family medicine specialists, all residents. Welcome all. Welcome to Young Doctors Movement webinar hosted by Spicewood Movement. Thank you.
Thank you, Serin. Now I would request you to introduce everyone to the Spice Route India movement. In brief, if you could tell us.
Is the screen slide visible?
Yes.
So, myself, Dr. Serin Guriakos, chair. I'm the chair of Spicewood India Movement. And hello.
Yes, you're audible.
And according to WONCA, young doctor is defined as those in family practice, family medicine training, and in the first 5 years of family medicine practice. So there are 7 young doctors movement across the globe. That is, in Africa, it is AfriWon. In Europe, it is Vasco da Gama movement. In North America, it is Polaris. In South America, it's Venaka. In Asia Pacific, it is Rajkumar movement. And in Middle East, it is known as Al Razi movement. And coming to South Asia region, we have the Spicewood movement. The Spicewood movement was officially inaugurated in 2010 during South Asia Regional Conference, which was held in Kathmandu. And the logo was designed by Dr. Ramnik Parikh. And the first chair was FPA founder president Dr. Raman Kumar. And the first Spicewood pre-conference was held in Mumbai next year, that is 2011. And this is the functional structure of Spicewood. At regional level, we have chair, that is none other than our Dr. Sangha, and we have office bearers at South Asia regional level, and we have national chair, national secretary, and FM 360 coordinators at all countries, and some of the countries have this treasurer and image coordinator or image editor post. And at regional or state level, we have state council members. And coming to the objectives of Spice Route, to improve the educational training of young family doctors and to provide more opportunities to develop their skills in research, publication, presentation, etc. Also, young doctors movement provides a platform to share their concerns, not only to share but also to help them in addressing all their concerns and doubts. Also, Spice Route movement encourage all young doctors to improvise their leadership skills. And here are some activities conducted by South Asia Regional
Seren,
Young
just a
Doctors
minute.
Movement.
Just a minute. Can everyone mute their mic? Yeah.
Thank you. And we conduct regular CPD programs, free conference meets, Spice Route cafes, workshops at national, international, and regional levels, research activities, social media activities, and FM 360.
Just a minute, Seren, you have been muted. Yeah.
So here is the list of uh, state leads of Spice Route India. Currently, we have 19 state leads. And coming to the functional structure of Spice Route India, we have three teams. There is one editorial team, we have one technical team, and there is one web designing team for Spice Route India. And our editorial team is the one behind the newsletter, which will be launched by Professor Dr. Sunil Abraham today. And let us have a look at these pictures. On the left side, you can see Dr. Kailas, and on the right side, myself. These pictures from the installation ceremony of Spice Route National Council, which was held on January 2020 during FPA Kerala State Conference. Again, on the left side of the screen, myself. On the right side, we can see a snapshot of a meeting which was conducted soon after the adoption of new state, new national council. That time we had only 7 state leads. Now we are 19. These are the pictures from these pictures which were taken during Dr. Sanga's visit to South India. On the left side, you can pictures of his visit to Bangalore. On right side, his visit to Kochi and Thrissur. And we have regular activities, and during World Family Doctors Day, in association with World Family Doctors Day, we had conducted a webinar. The topic was COVID experiences, and we had guest speaker as we had Dr. Piyush Jain as guest speaker. Here you can see one poster. This is a part of our social media campaign, and it is named as Member of the Week. The idea behind this poster is to introduce Spice Route members to the world. Every Tuesday, we will be announcing one Spice Route Member of the Week. So these are other activities of Spice Route. We have regular meetings, we have monthly classrooms, and that is all from India. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Seren. After this, I would like to invite Dr. Swati. She is the Spice Route State Lead of Karnataka. She is going to take over the launch of the newsletter. So the Spice Route India newsletter is the first such editorial that we have worked on, and we thought this is the apt day to release it. And Dr. Sunil Abraham, who's a professor and head of family medicine at Christian Medical College, Vellore, has accepted our invitation to launch this. Dr. Swati, over to you. Can the host please unmute Swati?
Yeah,
Yes.
am I audible now?
Yes, clearly.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Uh, Happy International Youth Day. And today I'm very happy to represent the editorial team and also invite Dr. Sunil Abraham sir to launch this. To just give a brief introduction to how
Hello everyone.
this process went, um, we actually discussed about having a newsletter from Spicewood India movement in May, and then we formed the editorial team, and then it was quite a smooth process. We got a lot of response for articles, and the review process also was kind of organically developed. And yeah, I would like to introduce the entire team. Firstly, the National Council, of course, Dr. Jyotika, Dr. Seren, Dr. Kailash. And I would like to thank Dr. Jyotika for pushing quite a bit for articles and also the review process, and Dr. Seren, of course, for the whole web design, and for having made the entire look very easy for reading. The other members of the editorial team being Dr. Sona who's representing Gujarat, and Dr. Vidyut from Haryana state. If you could just say hi. I'm not sure if you can unmute yourself.
Hello everybody, this is Dr. Soda.
Yeah. Dr. Bidyut from Haryana.
Hi, this is Dr. Bidyut.
Yeah, and then Dr. Digvijay from West Bengal, State Coordinator of West Bengal. Probably
He's
unmuting
muted.
is probably, yeah.
Hello everyone, hi.
Dr. Santosh from Uttarakhand is also here.
Yeah, he's
Hello,
Yes.
am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Then Dr. Nadeem from Kerala chapter.
Hi all.
And Dr. Idris is not here, right?
He's joined. He's here. He's here with
He's
us.
here. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Idris, can you say hi now?
Hi everyone. Sorry I joined in a bit late.
Yes.
No problem. And Dr. Zareen, who's currently in the US, has been really helpful in reviewing the whole process and being the advisor for the newsletter. Welcome to you.
She's here. She's here as well.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Now I would request Sunil sir to launch the newsletter and also say a few words.
Sure. Okay, so I'll share the screen now.
We welcome you, sir. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me. Now, I'm not allowed to share my screen. I think you have to enable me to do
Yeah,
it.
the
I
host
have
will.
enabled, sir. I have enabled, sir.
To
Now you can try, sir.
introduce Sunil sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So Sunil sir, professor and head of the Family Medicine Department in CMC Vellore. He's an alumni of Calicut Medical College, and he did FRA CGP and has worked as a GP in Melbourne for about 3 years. He has been an inspiration for people who wish to serve the poor. He has been working in low-cost effective care unit of CMC for urban poor since 2001, and Chalon Family Medicine Center for the more affordable patients. He's been a strong advocate for family medicine and primary care among young practitioners. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir, for the launch of the newsletter.
Thank you very much, Swati. I'll just launch the newsletter and say a few words.
Yes, sir. Please.
Great, here it comes. Wonderful. I must congratulate the whole team which has worked so hard for this. And kudos to all of you, Jyotika, Sarin, Swati, and the whole team which is behind this. I remember when I finished my family medicine, I didn't have a teacher of family medicine in India. In fact, I met the first professor of family medicine in 2005 when I went for the DFM exam in Chennai. The professor was from Sri Lanka. And you're also lucky because you have peers around South Asia. And this network is just amazing because you can learn from each other. There's so much to learn from each of these countries. And I want to congratulate you on this venture and wish you all the very best. The hope for South Asia, for the health of South Asia is family medicine. And I think the pandemic is proving that again and again. There is no other specialty which can bring hope and healing to our beloved countries. So wish you all the best. Thank you again for inviting me to do this. It's an honor for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil sir. Good to see you.
Thank you.
So we are unable to see the news.
Yeah, so can you just click once more?
Okay, sorry.
Because yes, it's yours now. Yes,
Great.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Sir, if you could just scroll it once for everyone to have just one glance of the page, home index page.
So there is a message from the editorial board, chair, national secretary, from the coordinator, the vision and mission. The creative corner is really nicely done. It's very good. And there is a conversation with our own Dr. B.C. Rao sir, an article on different topics, including scientific topics. There's the quiz time. Superb. Well done. Well done.
Thank you so much, sir.
Shall I stop sharing now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. Okay, so we'll move ahead with the celebration of International Youth Day. Today's theme is Youth Engagement for Global Action. To introduce this theme to us, I would like to invite Dr. Quatsita Melofer, who is the Spicewood State Lead from Tamil Nadu. So she will let us know in detail about this theme. Dr. Quatsita.
Good evening, everyone. Happy International Youth Day to all our friends from all over the world. So moving on, I'll be talking in brief about the theme for this year. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Right. So
you can go to the PowerPoint mode, slideshow mode. Yeah.
Yep. So the theme this year being Youth Engagement for Global Action. So what they have planned to highlight is how the young people can be engaged at the local, national, as well as global levels, and how they can enrich both national and international processes all over the world. So main aim is to draw the lessons from how the representation of these young people in formal institutions, politics can be enhanced to get better results. So this year, the International Youth Day, they have aimed to spotlight in engaging the youth in these main three streams. So how they can be engaged in the local or the community level, how they can be engaged in the national level, like how in lawmaking, policies, politics, and also in the global level. So why the youth have to be engaged in these political mechanisms is because they can bridge a gap by reducing the democratic deficits, which is being the prime concern now in many countries. They can help in creating more sustainable policies. And also, they can play a major role in increasing the public trust in institutions, which is actually on the downtrend these days. The Director General of UNESCO has released a message for the occasion of the International Youth Day. The theme being behind is education. So this is what was the code that has been given. Education is the heart of UNESCO's action towards a world where quality education is available for everyone, leaving no one behind. On the occasion of International Youth Day, the UNESCO steps up and calls for an education which is more inclusive and accessible for all young people in all corners of the world. This main point, education, is what is going to be the changing point in favor of the youth, who can be engaged in all processes. So unless they are going to get an education which is all inclusive and not just being, socially literate, they need to be educated in all aspects of life. So only then this education is going to be of good quality, which is going to change the outlook of these young people who are going to be the leaders of the future. So why do we have to engage these youth in all these policy making, law making, politics, etc.? They're basically very resilient and resourceful, and they can be easily engaged. So in these days of social distancing, they have built a social cohesion and they have become peace builders all over the world. These days, the youth have become the champions of more sustainable world, and they are advocating harmony. This is actually a live example for the recent past events like the Black Lives Matter, where the whole world came into activity behind one single person. This was not started by a single person, but I would say this was advocating harmony on a global level, the main action being taken by the youth in many countries. So I'm just going to give a brief example of how the perception of youth action during this pandemic has changed lives in many areas. In Argentina, a young man has started Impacto Digital Movement. This is a non-profit organization which hires transgender people. So they can help companies in policy making. So basically they provide the transgender people with decent jobs. Another example I would like to say is from Iran. People with different abilities have with artistic capabilities have started a movement called Together We Face Corona, where they have created an exhibition by young artists who can share their ideas and opinions, not just about this COVID crisis, but also how they can shape the future torchbearers for peace, etc. So these are just few examples where the youth have started shining. So what can we do in our community? We need to take this opportunity to educate our friends, family members, how these youth can impact the local as well as national agendas. So we can consult youth in decision-making processes. We can start this right from home and make the youth realize that they are important people. So we need to invest in young people's inclusion in organizations as well as in initiatives. Finally, so as young doctors, what can we do? We being primary care providers, we need to invent ourselves more and more. So we need to start providing innovative care, especially during this pandemic days, which is not going to be the end for this innovative care. It would be an ongoing care, which would be more competent and adequate also. So as primary care physicians, we have a wide scope of improvement and implementations. So not just in providing care for the patients, as well as training the young doctors who come into our specialty of family medicine. So that's all from my side. Happy International Youth Day again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kotsita. So on the occasion of International Youth Day, we have lined up a few talks, a few sessions, which have been which have been taken up by our state leads. So first, I want to invite Dr. Darshana Salve. She is the state lead of the state of Maharashtra, and she is going to talk to us about importance of physical fitness and adoption of a healthy lifestyle. Welcome, Darshana. Can you unmute her? Darshana, do you want us to share the screen?
You are not audible. I think you have to check the audio
Darshana,
settings.
yeah,
You have
we
to
can't
select a
hear
different microphone.
microphone.
In the audio settings, you have to select a different microphone, the different audio source. We are not able to hear you.
Hear you. We can't hear you, Darshana.
Use computer audio.
Can we go on to the next topic and come
Yes,
back to
I
this
think
later if
we.
it's going to be taking time?
Darshana, is it taking time? Okay, I think we'll. It's connected? No, Darshana, we still can't hear you. It's okay, you take your time. I'll call the next speaker by then. Can I have Dr. Santosh Kumar? He's the state lead from Uttarakhand. He's going to speak to us about.
Am I audible?
Yes. He's going to speak to us about how to handle peer pressure.
Okay. My slides are visible?
Not yet.
Slides are visible? Hello?
Yes, now it is visible. You can go to the slideshow mode. Yes.
Well, good evening, everyone, first of all. And I congratulate each and every member of Spicewood India for launching this newsletter on this auspicious occasion of International Youth Day. So the topic allotted to me is that peer pressure and how to handle it. So just discuss what we are going to deal right now. in a short period of time that who is peer, friend selection versus peer influences, peer pressure, why peer pressure, and type of peer pressure, and scientific mechanism of peer pressure, and ultimately will end up into the summary. Yes. So I start with a quote. Just tell me, who are you? Well, it is a well saying that if somebody has to judge you, that they can talk to your friend, and after talking to your friend, that they can judge you, that they can think something about you. So what is the concept that every one of us, they want a friend, we want a group of people, because ultimately we are a human being, and we have a connectedness with the community, and without, because we are human being, and without society, without community, our existence is nil. So peer can help us make decisions, and what I think is that peers are very important in life, in our day-to-day activities, and alone we cannot spend the life. So why they are necessary, and they are mandatory for us, for the socialization, encouragement, new experiences, synergetic action, and competitive work. If you are alone, maybe you can be little lazy, and you can be having some inactivity, and ultimately you get some a company, and because of that that synergic actions, you get motivated, and you automatically comes into the a competitive world, and you started struggling the same what you are destined for. Yes, the peer pressure is influence exerted by a peer group encouraging to change attitude, moral value in order to achieve the desired outcome. What we are not intended to do, that we will discuss in later slides about the detail, but we have to understand that the female friendship network often are densely interconnected. We know it very well, because today is the International Youth Day, and we are talking about the peer pressures, that the emotions comes into the first step, where the female are very much well connected and interconnected emotionally by the higher degree of reciprocation and the transitivity, because the peer pressure started when there is a demand, when we started there is a need for the reciprocation, and the females are having the more emotional, and they want the reciprocation. If I have done this amount for you, the same you are supposed to do, and where the pressure started being created, while boys considers they are usually practical, because these all two statement I have taken from the research. So the friendship is more intimate if they are organized around participation in shared activities. Okay, if you will do this one, then I'll do this one. There is not at all any bargaining. Well, so why do people give into the peer pressure? That's the fear of rejection, to fit into a group, because everyone is having a fear, exclusively at the age of adolescent, and difficult saying no to a friend is still in. If what to talk about the adolescent, in fact, we are right now, if we are connected somebody with very emotionally, and it's sometimes it's very dilemma, it's very difficult to say somebody no, right? And when we don't follow that norms, sometimes with them, so we ourselves land up into some difficulties, and we started feeling the pressure, inability to make a judgment, and curiosity, lack of self-confidence, and inner strength. And because of that, we usually get into the pressure, because we are not enough confident to handle the pressure of our peers. So that it is everywhere mentioned that the types of peers, the positive peer pressures, the neutral peer pressure, and negative peer pressure, as the word itself self-defining, that the positive peer pressure means if we are being encouraged, and neutral peer pressure means okay, we are not very much attached, and neither you are influencing me nor I'm being influenced by you. Okay, if we have to attend a class, then the class is scheduled from 8 to 9, then we have to attend, nothing else. It is, I mean, there is not any affection there, we are not being affected. And negative peer pressure means if we are getting the untoward reactions. Untoward reaction means that substance use, because we have not culturally bound to have that all things, and because of the peer pressures, just to show, just because of the fashion, we are being compelled to take these all things, which is not good socially or not accepted culturally for me. That's being the negative peer pressure. The substance abuse and addictions, the addiction, substance abuse, alcoholics, these all are because of the negative peer pressure. It is well said. Antisocial behavior, coercion of the family bonds, low social status, and sometimes suicides. Well, these are the negative peer pressure when individual may be imposed by the peers. And what is the positive peer? As I have already said, that the good habits and competitive world, if we are competing for the medical exam, engineering exam, of course, what during the competition, what you used to see, we used to look, if I am having a feeling the sleepy, then what my neighbor is doing, what the other students are doing, automatically we have a positive feeling, no, we have to do. So improvement in self-confidence and independence, improved social relationship and positive decision making. These are the positive peer pressures. And of course, the peer is, if we are connecting with the peers, definitely we have a positive, but negative peer we have to control. I'll discuss later. And how to handle the peer pressure. That's the important things, the concept of homophily. That's the homophily means the individual prefer to associate with those who share similar characteristics, because before we start the peers, then we start making the friends. And that is very important things, that we select the friend who already exhibit similar behavior as their own. Be influenced by the friend to adjust their behavior, so it is more likely that of the group. Suppose any individual is going outside of their home, that particular person is having some cultural or familial habits and characteristics, because he must be liking something or he must not be liking something, and he would like to correlate, he would like to attach with the same type of people having the similar characteristics. Is all right. So homophily is a very important concept. Before we come to what we call the peer pressure, the individual prefer to associate with those who share the similar characteristics, belief, and behavior to their own. So peer influences occur when an adolescent attitude and behavior are shaped by those of a friend, so that peer become more homogeneous, that it was a prior to relationship inception. What I've told, that peers comes later. What comes first? The first comes what the exclusive characteristic, whatever I have taken from my family. So the family goes the bigger hand. My parenting is having greater credit than what type of environment I have been brought up. Because I have that attitude, I have that characteristic, the similar things I would like to find out outside.
Dr. Santosh, you have 1 more minute.
Okay. So study have suggested that the maternal, what I have already mentioned, the peer rejection in early adolescent prospectively predict increase in physical aggregations and antisocial behavior. Youth who confront rejection from their peer are more likely to be friend antisocial youth, who themselves are also like to deal with the peer. So that is very important, that if any peers get rejected at adolescent period, then they are having the antisocial behavior. So influencing factor to peer pressure is environmental factor, but what I have already mentioned, if the environment is good, then, and genetic effect is already been discussed, but environmental factor proceeded. Social environment where delinquency is rewarded. If since childhood the delinquency is neglected and it is sometimes rewarded by the schools, by the society, it means it will be mushroomed, and of course the delinquency will likely to be there. So there is some, if you correlate with the CNS central nervous system, then ventral stratum is a key brain region involved in the processing of social influences. So mere peer pressure, other study reported that VS activation in response to peer feedback, especially when the peer indicated a desire to socially interact with the participants. Compared to adolescent, so higher neural sensitivity to a variety of social cues, we can see that the adolescent having the immature prefrontal cortex. So whenever they are having any emotional things or any conflicts or any behavior that is registered over there, so we have to be careful while during the parenting. We should not scold our parents or children's or adolescent in front of the mass or in their with their colleagues. So in summary, what we are supposed to do, all the peers, all the adolescents or youth, they should say no. There are many ways to saying no. That you need to have a life skills. We cannot, we should not scold them, because ultimately we need peers. We need peers, it's 100% clear, but we have to manage it with your balanced life. There are many ways to say no. Just walk out with the situation and pretend you haven't had them. Stick to your decision, be assertive. Most important, use life skill. And if it is not working at all, your life is very important to avoid such peer group, because your life is more important than friendship. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Santosh. I just have one question for you. So as a practitioner, what would you advise to the parents of adolescents?
Yeah, because what I have discussed, that the parenting is a very important concept that has to be taken up since childhood. What I would like to advise, that authoritarian parentship should be, it is not recommended at all. And be friendly with your children, so that they are able to share each and everything and identify their mood.
Yes.
Identify their mood, how they are feeling.
Okay, that will be good. Thank you very much, Dr. Santosh. That was quite a detailed explanation and even classification of peer pressure that we learned.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Darshana, can we have you? She is the state lead from Maharashtra.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you clearly. Yes. Sarin, can you please share her PPT?
So a very good evening to all. Namaste from India. I'm Dr. Darshana, and I'll be talking on the topic adoption of healthy lifestyle. Yeah, so today I'll be talking about healthy lifestyle. Next slide, please. So let's revise what we have been studying about health right from our undergraduate courses, that it is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. But very rarely, that's okay. But very rarely that we implement on all the three factors that the definition says. The current disease burden for non-communicable diseases is, it kills around 41 million people each year, equivalent to 71% of all deaths globally. Each year, 15 million die from NCD between the ages of 30 to 69 years, and over 85% of these premature deaths occur in low and middle income countries. So what are lifestyle diseases? So these are the diseases that are caused by partially by unhealthy lifestyle habits, like unhealthy habits, behaviors, and practices, and partially by the irreversible factors like age, race, gender, and heredity. The types of lifestyle diseases are cardiovascular disease, diabetes, stroke, cancer, COPD, depression, musculoskeletal disorder. So as we see that there are a lot of diseases which come under the lifestyle diseases, and hence shift to a healthy lifestyle becomes the need of the hour. So healthy living is nothing but the steps, actions, and strategies one puts in place to achieve optimum health. It is about taking responsibility for your decisions and making smart choices for today and for the future. It is important healthy lifestyle will help us in reducing the incidences and impact on health problems, complete recovery, for coping with day-to-day life stressors, and for improving quality of life. The pillars of good lifestyle or healthy lifestyles are, there are four pillars. The first one is a physical activity or adequate exercise. The second one is
1 minute, Darshana.
Sure.
Can we mute other microphones? Sankha? Yes, Darshana.
Yes. So the four pillars, I'll just restart. The four pillars of lifestyle. The first pillar is physical activity or adequate exercises. Second pillar is the balanced nutrition and hydration. Third is sleep. Fourth pillar is emotional well-being and stress management. Just a second before you change the slide. So basically, the pillars, they support our life or our health. So even if one pillar is not proper, it is going to affect our health in a big way. So the first pillar, physical activity and adequate exercises. A sedentary body that does not move is like a stagnant pond and will only breed disease. And hence, it is now proved that irrespective of your age, exercise is a must. The challenges that normally we face or the excuses that we give for not being physically active, the very common is lack of time. We all are so busy in our busy schedule of work and life that we don't find time for physical activity. Second one is that can't afford to go to the gym. Third is too tired to exercise, and obviously there is no motivation to do physical exercises. But if we devote some time, at least 30 minutes per day, there are a lot of benefits of exercises. Like it helps in maintaining healthy weight, reduces the risk of CVD, diabetes, metabolic syndromes, etc. Strengthens bones and muscles, releases endorphins, hence the feel-good factor, reduces inflammation, allowing the immune system to function better, improves mental health, and it really helps in depression as well. So it is recommended that we need to have 150 minutes of moderate exercises 5 days a week in the form of walking, yoga, body weight training, dance, swimming, bicycling, etc. The next pillar is the balanced diet. Balanced diet, the essence of healthy living is moderation in food intake. It should be a balanced meal comprising of carbs, proteins, fats, fibers in the form of vegetables, salads, and probiotic in the form of curd, buttermilk, and kefir. At least one fruit serving in a day. We all are very well known with the quote, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So yes, that helps us as well to keep ourselves away from our colleagues from treating us. The other one is avoid junk food, refined carbs, processed food, aerated drinks, too much caffeine, and maintain a good hydration of 2 to 3 liters per day, which we often neglect or we forget drinking water. Sleep. So as this baby is sleeping over here, I purposely kept this picture because this is how normally we need to sleep, but it is very unfortunate that we are not getting that restful sleep. A study observed a 30% decrease in the activity of natural killer cells and a 49% increase in the activity of T lymphocytes stimulated by phytohematoglutinin in subjects who slept fewer than 7 hours. While sleeping is a human need and an inbuilt mechanism in our body, today research is proving the importance of sleep and its deprivation of sleep is linked to the various diseases. We need to have at least 7 to 8 hours of sound sleep. The benefits of sound sleep is it improves concentration, it increases the productivity at work, improves immune function, reduces inflammation, and lowers the risk of CV diseases and many more. So just to conclude the third pillar, that if it doesn't really matter, how much we exercise or how well we eat. If we are missing out on our daily night rest, we are actually crippling our immune system in a big way. Next slide, please. Okay, I just want you to hold on this slide because this is one of my favorite slides, and this is the fourth pillar. This is emotional well-being, and I'll just correlate in each block, whatever the words are. So basically slow down. And why we need to slow down? Because we can...
Darshana, 1 minute before you start. You have 2 more minutes to go.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll just find it up. Yeah, so slow down to balance better, keep calm, helps you to breathe better. Be positive. There is no good reason to be otherwise. Take it easy. You don't own all the problems in the world personally. Unplug so you can recharge and revive well. Enjoy life because you live only once in this lifetime. Have fun because all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Breathe because you're alive. Relax because it is helping you in rejuvenating. Go outside post lockdown, not right now. And smile because it is contagious and it suits you. It increases your face value. And meditate because it is blissful. Next slide, please. Okay, so I have actually covered up everything. So I'll just go through the main thing. The chronic or elevated stress reduces cortisol levels, which acts as an immune suppressor. It increases inflammation and it increases inflammation and creates havoc with the digestive system, interferes with sleep, disturbs eating habits. Since all originates in the mind, it's time to think of keeping the mind healthy to achieve good physical health. Chronic stress also have an indirect effect on your immune system as it tends to resort to unhealthy coping strategies like smoking, too much intake of caffeine, alcohol, eating too much sugar and processed food, not sleeping properly, and giving up on physical exercise and healthy social activities. Next one, please. So the tools for managing stress effectively are deep breathing, pranayama, meditation, reflection, journaling, and etc. These are the few of them. So just to conclude my whole talk and in a practical way, the first pillar, try to take out 30 minutes of exercises, choose what you enjoy doing because in this way, it will be less of a task and more of an activity that you look forward to. Balanced nutrition, 3 major meals or 4 small meals a day. Make it simple, well-cooked, homemade, wholesome meal. Third, quality sleep. Plan your day and take out 8 hours of your sleep on a priority. And fourth, emotional wellness, along with the tools that we just discussed, practice acceptance and letting go. Next one, please. So all the young doctors who are watching over here, I would say that if I'm able to convince you all that this is the right time to adopt to a healthy lifestyle, so I would just say that practice what you preach because your patients, the people whom we are treating, we are healing, they are looking at us and they exactly know what we are doing in our personal life, and are we only just talking the talk and not walking the walk. So make sure practice what you preach. The next one, please. And as Thomas Edison quotes, the doctor of the future will give no medicine but will instruct his patients in care of the human frame in diet and in the cause of prevention of disease. So is this that future that he was referring to in the past? I'll keep the question open for each one of us to decide and implement. Next one. Thank you for your patience listening and stay healthy, stay safe, live in style with healthy lifestyle. Thank you so much.
That was really summed up well, Darshana. Yes, practice what you preach is really good. Any advice to us doctors who may not actually be practicing what we preach?
You need to. I am just telling one small thing. I mean, I don't know whether I have time or not.
I'll give you 30 seconds.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll just wind it up. So there was one of my doctor friend who always complains that his whatever advices we give to our patient, they don't implement it, and obviously it affects the treatment part. The lifestyle bit plays an important role. And I said, okay, fine, but how much of that are you implementing and you are doing by yourself? Because patients can see you. As I said, talk the talk, but walk the walk as well. So if you are not going to do it, our patients will never follow. So if we want our patients to be healthy and fine, it starts with you. Charity begins at home. Lead by example. I have a lot of hope.
Yes. Thank you very much, Darshana.
Thank you.
Uh, yes. Next, we have Dr. Virup Reddy. He's the state lead from Telangana. He will speak to us about mental health and mental well-being, the hot topic for all of us.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, happy International Youth Day. Are you able to see my slides, everybody?
Yes.
And my talk is about mental health well-being in youth. It is in green because mental health is by Green Ribbon. And who are youth? United Nations has given a definition of the persons between 15 to 24 years to be called as youth. And National Youth Policy in India in 2014 made it 15 to 29 years. But that is not sufficient for India, so they changed it to 15 to 34 years. According to 2011 census, 42 crores of 121 crore population are youth. That is almost 1/3 of the total population. And that might have increased significantly in this decade. Now, mental health. What is mental health? It is a state of well-being in the individual where he realizes his or her own abilities and can cope with normal stress of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and able to make contribution to his or her community. And that's how the mental health is so important for the progress of the person, progress of their family, and progress of the society. And the most important factors causing common mental disorders in India mostly, first being the poverty, family conflicts, death of any family member, divorce in the family, and bullying in the schools, offices, and the working environment, academic failures, educational pressures from the family and society, and the most importantly, love failures, unemployment, work stress, insomnia, etc. And the IT industry has made it more worse, and it decreased social interaction, decreased the physical activity and intimacy, and it made more sedentary lifestyle. According to the data, at least 20% of youth are likely to experience some form of mental illness. And depression is the most common and prevalent, second being the suicidal behaviors, next in the line, substance abuse, mood disturbances, etc. Today, we are going to talk about the depression, how to prevent it and how to when to intervene. Preventive interventions, we have three categories: universal, selective, and indicated. Universal being in the school level, selective at family level, indicated at our level, primary care. First one, World Health Organization's Southeast Asia has developed an interventional tool to promote the mental well-being at school. They have divided it into 4 programs for 4 ages. It should be started at the age of 9 to 10, mental well-being week. So, like example, Monday they have to socially active, and Tuesdays sports, Wednesday yoga, like that. They have made a week. And next 11 to 12 years, the teachers has to talk to the people and explore their habits and creative learning in the habits. And at the age of 13 to 14, the teacher should talk to the children and see what the factors that are causing stress and how to manage their emotions. And at the age of 15 to 16, we have to show them the videos, how to practice pranayama or yoga, how to self-aware, and how to cope with the stress, etc. In the school life, we have to avoid study-related stress. Do not compare yours with others. Stay positive. Develop a hobby for yourself. Positive attitude of own body image. Get involved in the sports of your liking. Be positive. Life is very precious. And next is families. How the families has to support the depressed individual. They should be supportive. Don't pressurize your children in studies, and don't pressurize your choices on your children, and talk to them openly and make them feel that they can discuss anything with you. and keep them in safe mind that whatever the thing, you are there for them. The next important one, our role, how family physicians can help at-risk youth to move out of depression and how we can treat them. Government of India, in collaboration with Armed Force Medical Colleges, Pune, had given a 9 simple steps for building positive mental health. Being, get good sleep, at least 7 to 8 hours for children, at least 7 hours in the adolescents, at least 6 hours for youth. Exercise regularly 150 minutes per week, avoid alcohol and drugs, practice medication 10 to 15 minutes per day, connect socially. That doesn't mean going to social sites, reduce the screen time and media exposure, learn new skills, whatever you are interested in, eat healthy, avoid binge eating and avoid the fast food, and connect with nature. And Indian Psychiatric Society 2020 has given us some guidelines how to diagnose, screen, and manage depression in children and adolescents. And they have told us that DSM-5 criteria and ICD-11 can be used for children and adolescents, same as adults for the diagnosis. And Department of Psychiatry, CMC Vellore, Tamil Nadu, has given us 3 scales which can be used in primary care settings, which can be used by family physicians, like Beck Depression Inventory, Patient Health Questionnaire 9 version, Children Depression Rating Scale CDRSR. The CDRSR is most widely used, and the CMC has recommended to use it in the primary care. Next, non-pharmacological management, cognitive behavior therapy and interpersonal therapy. Cognitive behavior therapy, we have to assess their thinking, knowledge, and we have to give them some exercises, how to improve it, and we have to talk them accordingly. Interpersonal therapy is for the persons who has some loss in their family, and there will be sessions for that. And if that doesn't work out, we have to combine it with pharmacological management. And FDA USA has approved 2 drugs, fluoxetine and escitalopram, SSRIs. And fluoxetine should be used for greater than 8 years and above, and escitalopram greater than 12 years. Both has to be started slow at that 10 milligram per day and can increase up to 20 milligram per day.
Dr. Virup, you have 1 more minute actually.
Yeah, okay. SSRIs, if it is resistant, we can go to venlafaxine, that 37.5 milligram per day, and can be increased up to 75 to 150 milligram per day. And if it is resistant to SNRIs, it is better take the help of psychiatrists. We can start on mirtazapine and bupropion, which should not be started in children. And electroconvulsive therapy has to be done along with psychiatrists. And India has started National Mental Health Program in 1982. And because of there is a heavy burden of mental illness, but inadequate of mental health care infra. And I'm talking this because there is one thing they have told, that integration of mental health with primary health care. So we have to know how to screen, diagnose, and manage at primary care level. The only thing we can help is talk to them and give sessions, give our time, and go into their shoes. And the last thing we can tell them is live in the present moment. Only living in the present moment has decreased the burden of depression by 90%. So always live in the present moment. And thank you for listening. Thank you all. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Dr. Virup. Anyone has any questions? I know mental health is a very, very attractive topic. Okay, we will move on to the next one. Dr. Gunjan, who is the state lead from Delhi, she will be telling us whether the use of internet and the easy availability of internet is a boon or a bane.
Good evening, everybody. I am Dr. Gunjan Shah, State Lead of Delhi Chapter. We could start with our slides.
Gunjan, do you want us to share?
Yes, no, I'm waiting for the slide.
You want us to play the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Seren, can you please put her PPT?
Okay. So good evening, everybody. The topic today is dependence on the internet, boon or bane. We could go to the first slide. Everybody who is attending today cannot refuse that they are not addicted to internet as whole. At some point or the other, we have felt that internet is a necessity, as necessary as roti, kapra, makan, family, friends, or even oxygen support for some. Suddenly, the internet rates have fallen down, and so the accessibility has increased. The addictive power is so huge that we can see in the stats below the percentage of population using internet in every country is staggering. It's around 80% in India, and all the percentages of G20 nations have been shown in this slide. Next. Yeah. This particular slide is trying to show us the magnitude of the problem. We have around 500 million people in India completely addicted to internet, using it so often. But what are they actually using it for? In this pie chart here, we can see that around 47.9% is only playing games online. Around 23% are using it for cartoons, movies, downloading music. 13% for chatting online. Only 6% is using it to study. Only 5% is trying to acquire some information. A good use is restricted to hardly 11 and 12%. Can you move to the next slide? The frequency of internet usage is more to do with our addiction, in the sense that we just are trying to use our mobile or gadget just for the sake of it, since we are free, waiting for the lift, waiting for a call or something, and we just have to scroll our social media just like that, not because we are actually needing something. Next one. So if that's the extent of youth indulging in surfing, it brings us to a very sincere query. Is it a boon or bane for them? Here we have to understand one thing. There is an ancient concept of Vasudev Kutumbakam, and suddenly the whole world feels like a village where everybody knows everyone. Sincerely now, when we are fighting a pandemic, the biggest challenge Earth has ever faced, here we stand together closer than ever before. A small discovery which can help the whole world fight this problem, discovered at some corner of the world, is trying to help the another half only because we are so well connected because of internet. The availability of knowledge easily, the connectivity through social media, the entertainment platform which we have, the audience available for it, the people who want to perform can have access through YouTube. Which is shown in the next slide right now. The ease of using internet for all the financial transactions, the online bookings of tickets, hotels, tours, the scope of job search, all the online services which helped us in this lockdown phase, the research and academic pursuits of people, all of these were a huge benefit. But like every coin has two sides, internet usage can also be extremely lethal, which we'll see in the coming slides. The dependency on the internet stems from needs, and the latter can nip off the other necessities existing in our life, which is shown in this flow chart. The need for affiliation, the curiosity for information, all of these are prone to put us in this addictive phase. But it strikes us emotionally. It cuts off our social relationship. It screws up our time management. And then we are left really anxious and lonely when we do not have an internet connectivity. The next one. The symptoms of internet addiction are the emotional symptoms are unable to keep schedules, no sense of time, The person feels so isolated without internet. They become very defensive and agitated. They refuse to take no. They are trying to avoid doing work. They feel so happy when they have their gadget in their hand. Without it, they are very difficult to work with. Of course, there are physical symptoms of this as well. Sitting continuously with the mobile in the hand brings up spondylitis, backache, frequent headaches, weight gain or loss, disturbance in sleep pattern, carpal tunnel syndrome, blurred or strained vision. A study in Australian youth showed us that the problem of using internet becomes difficult when they go to very heavy internet use. Around 5 to 10% of the youth is using it at severe, they are using it for severe number of hours, and then it becomes a pathological use. The internet and gaming addiction that becomes lethal. Here, the parental control comes into play. If good control is enforced by parents, strong self-reflection is there, then we can limit the misuse of it. The mindless addiction to dangerous games such as blue whale or suicidal tendency games, the TikTok frenzy where they were enforcing videos showing killing a cat or a dog for just getting more likes and becoming some trendsetter, these things were wrong. A peculiar herd mentality has been brought up in youth where they are just following something just because a celebrity is talking about it or because it gets them more likes or followers, they're just going to do it without thinking whether it's right or wrong. There is a validation seeking attitude in them. The youth gets trapped into a virtual world where they are unable to cope with real life challenges. There is shorter attention span, less human touch. They become emotionally vacant couch potato. If you find a kid who is refusing to make an eye contact, is stuck to its gadget, not talking to you much, he may not be autistic. He might be affected by internet addiction.
Gunjan, you have one more minute.
Specifically in the COVID pandemic times, the institutional isolation felt like a death sentence if patients were denied their mobile phones or internet connectivity. They were quite okay not living with their family, but not living with their mobile was so difficult for them. This particular slide, I have seen this meme often, and though the point emphasized here is quite true, but yet it was never spoken by Albert Einstein, and nobody cares about it. Whether the thing spoken widespread in the internet is true or not, nobody cares. This opens up a window where hate propaganda, uh, peddling lies becomes so easy because the humans who are actually following it are not thinking for a second. So, are we not trying to create an army of mindless people who would just follow anything and everything? So, using the internet must be done with a lot of responsibility. And here, as parents and family physicians around them, we hold a great responsibility. I guess now we are open for discussions on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gunjan. I think that one slide was really important when you said, when you put up that about Albert Einstein. No one really cares to check whether it's true or not. Everyone uses WhatsApp knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We have 2 minutes if anyone wants to give inputs or ask something to any of our speakers. Before we move on to a very, very interesting and a new session that we've not yet had at all in any of our webinars. Okay, so we'll move on. I want to invite Dr. Nitish Garg. He is the state lead from Uttar Pradesh. He is not going to talk. He is going to sing for us. Welcome, Nitish.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Jyotika. And hello, everyone. I wish you a very happy International Youth Day. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, clearly.
Okay, so I will not waste everyone's time. I think it's already late and everyone wants to have dinner. So I'll just start. Just a second. डूबा डूबा रहता हूँ आँखों में तेरे दीवाना बन गया हूँ मैं चाहत में तेरे डूबा डूबा रहता हूँ आँखों में तेरी दीवाना बन गया हूँ मैं चाहत में तेरी अब दिन गुजरते नहीं रातें कटती नहीं तेरी तस्वीर से बातें बनती नहीं हो आजा ना जा बेवफा Okay, thank you.
That was great, Nitish. I think
Thank you.
I think we should request
everybody.
everyone to
Yes, yes,
clap.
absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this patient listening.
Yes, everyone who had probably thought of exiting the session stayed back. That was really, really great. And the credit for this cultural session definitely goes to Dr. Seren and Dr. Kailas, who were very, very adamant on having this new concept. Okay. Actually, with that, we are wrapping up our session. I want to call Dr. Sankha to please speak a few words.
In the meantime, I started having my dinner. And I will start from the end. Thank you, Nitish, for that wonderful song. We didn't understand anything, but we really admired it, right? Thank you. And actually, with that, I already suggested to Jyotika that we are going to have a cultural event in each and every session done by each and every country. So we will see spices everywhere. So we are going to spice up the sessions in future as well. So thank you very much, our Indian colleagues, for having this session. I mean, taking the responsibility of organizing that. We are going to see many day celebrations in future as we have decided. So we gave the first chance to our big brother, India. So I always thank Serin, Kailas and Jyotika, but this time I want a special thank you for our state leaders in India, young guys. Thank you very much. I think that was great. Great lectures. Sorry, a bit of speeches, presentations, and I think we also learned a lot. And in a few minutes, I think it's only 10 or 5 to 10 minutes time. So thank you very much for all this, all the organizing part done by the state leaders as well. So that's it. So I think it's a fruitful session. Thank you, and see you all in the next session as well from the other countries too. Thank you very much. Good night. Have a good night and nice day tomorrow.
Thank you, Sankha. Thank you so much. Rao sir, can I invite you, please? Seren, can you unmute his mic? Serin, can you unmute Rao sir's?
Yeah, it
Okay.
takes 2 seconds.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
It's a delay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you want to speak?
Yes. Do you want to hear from you, sir? You've always been the
Like,
motivation push behind Spice Route.
yeah, that is a bit exaggerated statement. Then, what I like about this program is it's very innovative. It is not just one of those functions wherein, you launch something and you appreciated someone and then someone said something. The usual routine wasn't there in this. This is what I liked most. It was very innovative and there were no glitches and everyone did job very, very well. And I sat through most of it, except went for a bite and came back. And then that, the last one with the person singing, it was excellent. And, you should have this at the end of it. There should be, and real, this is a piece of Spice Movement. And
So we will have
Jyota,
only
you did a
culturals
very,
next
very
time.
good job and you have lived up to my expectations. And it's worth pushing you to do this. And of course, Swati and I are very close friends, and you know, I wish I had retained Swati in that picture of mine.
You recognize
where
that,
you
yes.
put that photo. I think
Yes.
it was Swati was sitting there.
Yes, yes. Even she didn't know that.
That would have been in the fitness of. Okay. So also, congratulations and keep up. Let's have another lively session. I like the newsletter, and
Thank you so much, sir.
keep it up. And all of you, good night and have fun. And don't worry too much about this COVID. It will come, it will go, and then we'll back to normal. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Good night.
sir. Good night. Thank you
And
so
thank you.
much. Thank you so much for being with us, sir.
Thank you.
Can I call Dr. Kailas, who is the Indian FM 360 coordinator, to propose the official vote of thanks?
Hello, a very good evening to you all. Respected senior doctors, colleagues from Southeastern Regional Council and other YDMs, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks on this special occasion. And I, Dr. Kailas, the FM 360 coordinator of Spicewood India, along with the other colleagues from South Asian Regional Council, would like to extend a very hearty thanks to all of you for attending our first of this celebrating the international important days. And today's topic was youth engagement for global action. And it was a privilege, a very thanks to South Asian Regional Council for letting the Spicewood India do the to organize this event. And also, I would like to propose a thanks to Dr. Sunil Abraham sir, who is always an inspiration to all the young doctors in India, for launching our newsletter. And I ask everyone to read and give your valuable comments regarding our newsletter. And coming to the topic, and each and every topic was interesting in its own way. And I would like to thank Dr. Santosh for taking us through the peer pressure. And I would like to give special thanks to Darshana and Dr. Viru for letting me, I'm hoping to or trying to sleep from tomorrow onwards at least 8 hours a day. And that was a very interesting thing for me, basically in this very hectic times. And I would like to thank also Dr. Gunjan for her talk on internet, boon or bane. And finally, and the last, I would like to thank Dr. Nitish for that wonderful, lovely song which spiced up the spiced up the things at the end. And and uh, and at the end, I would like to thank all the South Asian regional colleagues of mine who have attended this event. And I also like to thank DC Rao sir, Rashmi ma'am, Mohan sir, Dr. Bijay, Srinivas sir, Dr. Ramya for attending our session and supporting our young doctors in all our ventures. And finally, all the state leads and other young doctors who participated in this event and made it a success. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good night. Good night.
Thank you so much, Kailas. So we will call it a day. See you all tomorrow. Good night.
Good night. Good night all. Dr. Vijay.